Really? The Titan Blake Lively is now trying to convince us that she is a victim because her mother was. Hi and welcome to Flaa Talk. I'm Kjersti Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood and working as an entertainment reporter. I have a new microphone. I'm super excited about this new audio. That sounds so much better, even though I have a cold, which you can also hear, obviously. But this is, yeah, this is top notch. But anyways, there's so much to talk about. Oh my God, I can't believe Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds showed up at the Time 100 Gala last night in New York, pretending like nothing. So the videos of the two of them posing on the red carpet has been everywhere today, and they look so happy and so relaxed. And Blake Lively brought her mother with her because she was using her story to tell a powerful story about abuse and women and blah blah. I'll get back to that later. Anyways, of course, there's been a lot of talk about why Blake Lively shouldn't be at this event. Why is she a titan? Why was she named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people? A lot of people reacted to it. There's a petition to remove her that I talked about yesterday. There was a link in my video. But anyways, she was there, and I don't know why Ryan Reynolds was doing this speech yesterday that I also talked about. He was interviewed on stage. He was asked questions that he didn't answer, and he was sitting like, when you look at his body language in that interview, he's sitting like this scared little child in that chair. I don't know if he did that on purpose to look more like a victim, or if he just felt really uncomfortable sitting there. But there was nothing uncomfortable about Blake Lively posing on the red carpet last night. And even TMZ, who I thought was critical of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, posted this story about it's our time to shine. They even said in their story, the Titans category is for folks who are leaders in the field and those who have made a transformative impact on the world. And the honors previously been bestowed on people like Michelle Obama, George Bush, and Bill Gates, and now Blake Lively. What? They talk about how stunning they look, nothing else. I don't know what happened to TMZ. Maybe they're scared of being dragged into this lawsuit and now they're just changing lanes here. So Blake Lively had this speech. Someone recorded it and put it online. She talked about how her mother was almost killed by a coworker before she was born, and then her mother heard on the radio another woman talking about how she survived abuse, and then that saved her mother. She never knew the name of the woman who saved her, but because she heard her on the radio talk about her experience, she came over this trauma. I mean, if her mom was almost killed by a coworker, that's horrible and that's tragic. But why is Blake Lively using her mother's story? She has been aged, as we all know, and it has been so traumatizing for her. Why didn't she use her own story? And
I know the superpower of female triumph, though. I have touched it, I have shaken hands with it, and I am looking at it all over this room here right now. These are the happy endings that we must see as women and girls.
And why didn't she tell this story when she was so criticized during It Ends With Us, the whole press tour, where she was criticized for not talking about DV? Where was this story about a woman being abused? If her mother, if this is if this is true, because Blake Lively has told a lot of story previously, as we've all found out, that hasn't always been like factually correct. So I don't know if this story is true or not, but if it is, why didn't she tell this story earlier? And of course, as always, there was so much word salad in this speech. I didn't quite understand how her mother was saved by a person she heard on the radio. If it saved her that she could get away physically from this man who tried to harm her, or if it saved her because she thought, oh, I'm not alone. There's other women that have experienced things like that. Um, the story didn't make any sense to me.
The woman painfully and graphically shared how she escaped. And because of hearing that woman speak to her experience instead of shutting down in fear and unfair shame, my mom is alive today.
Whatsoever. And I feel like Blake Lively is just desperate to look like a victim. And now she's using her mom to make her look more like a victim. All of us have stories. All of us have mothers with stories. And I feel this was just a PR stunt. I'm sure they sat down and like talked about this before it happened and said, you know, how can we create this powerful speech? And Blake Lively couldn't really talk about Baldoni because they have a lawsuit going on. And she was like, oh, I'll talk about my mother and her suffering because, you know, I am a victim. And then she's trying to relate to everyone else who's a victim and say that as women, we stand together. No, we don't stand with you. And this is just another attempt to win over the public. And another thing is, when you go out like this and you are also honored with being one of the most 100 influential people in the world, that looks terrible for the lawsuit because she's claiming that she lost income and popularity and money. And when she's going out and being celebrated like this for her achievements, well, that doesn't look good. If she's going to claim in court that she had all these damages and trauma, but she's totally fine going on red carpets. And she was in London last week or 2 weeks ago now for Another Simple Favor. So she has movies coming up. So where are the damages, Blake Lively? I don't see them. Yeah, bottom line here is she used her mom to get sympathy and posing with her everywhere on the red carpet and sitting next to her talking about her and her supportive husband. It was just like, we're not buying it. No. So interestingly enough, Megyn Kelly was there and she was interviewed about Blake Lively and she was like, this is a ridiculous honor. So Daily Mail interviewed her and she said this.
I'm definitely hoping for some sort of a selfie in the distance with both Blake Lively and Meghan Markle since they provided me with so many hours of content.
There's a lot of controversy right now with Blake being on the Time 100 list.
It's a ridiculous joke. She shouldn't be there. She has no influence over anyone.
Yeah, so the reporter asked if she was scared of meeting Blake Lively, and she's like, "No, I think she's going to be the one avoiding me."
Right. Are you going to like be avoiding her inside because she's expected to be here with Ryan?
I have a feeling she's going to be avoiding me. I won't be avoiding anybody.
Yeah.
I'm good.
There's so many people there that Blake Lively should want to avoid. Scarlett Johansson was there as well. I don't think the two of them have that much to talk about. So yeah, certainly an interesting room. I wish I was a fly on the wall. Also, there's more development in the case between Stephanie Jones and Jennifer Abel. You know, Stephanie Jones confiscated Jen Abel's phone, and then by this sham subpoena, she had to give it to Blake Lively's team. So Billy Bush actually interviewed Stephanie Jones's two lawyers and asked them about, you know, about this. And they said that it's completely normal to have a sham lawsuit like this with 10 does that they don't know who are and sue them to get a subpoena. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense to anyone still that they didn't know who these does were. And still, they went after one phone. You didn't know who these people were that you were suing, but you knew which phone you wanted. Why didn't you just sue Jennifer Abel at that point? And also, you know, the fact that Stephanie Jones confiscated that phone because it belonged to the office, fine. But was she allowed to look into Jennifer Abel's personal phone or phone messages? Is that something that's in the contract that you have to give up your phone and then you allow your employer to look at all your personal data? I saw Daily Dose of Donna was mentioning in one of her Instagram posts that Jennifer Abel changed her password in January this year on her iCloud and then realized that Stephanie Jones had had access to everything up till then, even, her conversations with her lawyer. So she's been snooping around all this time on her ex-coworker's phone. That must be illegal.
Stephanie's just responding to a subpoena. Question is, did she know that the subpoena was coming from a Blake Lively shell company?
The Doe lawsuit is a common lawsuit. And
Is it an end around while it's legal?
It's absolutely not an end around. It's a common practice that if somebody's defamed, if somebody's smeared, if something happens and they don't know who did it, then they can file a lawsuit.
So now Jennifer Abel has updated her charges against Stephanie Jones and accusing her of fraud and accusing her of violation of stored communication and wiretapping and a lot of other things much more serious than she was actually doing in the first place. Yeah, so apparently Jones tricked Jennifer Abel to give her the passcode for her phone so she could get access to everything and then tell Leslie Sloan about it. By the way, I saw Leslie Sloan lurking around at the red carpet with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Oh my God, I wish I could subpoena her phone. I wonder what's been going on there. So Billy Bush asked his lawyers more questions, and they talked about how they think Jennifer Abel was responsible for this hit piece that was written about Stephanie Jones in Business Insider. I read the piece. It actually portrays Stephanie Jones as kind of a tyrant in the industry, and they're accusing her of being behind it. So I think that's another reason why Stephanie Jones wanted access to Jennifer Abel's phone to see if she was the one planting that story about her. Maybe that's where it all started, and that's when she started looking into her phone, and then she found all these other things that she's like, I could use this too and hurt her even more. And they're saying that Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni and Jennifer Abel breached their contract with them and blah, blah, blah. So Friedman commented on this on TMZ, and he said that to suggest, as Van Zandt, Lively and Reynolds, do in their secret complaint that they are unaware of the identities of their own employees and contractual counterparties is a complete joke. We are just starting to scratch the surface of a much broader and much insidious scheme. He says, we are not surprised at all that Ms. Jones would instruct her legal team to go on a record and mischaracterize the circumstances surrounding the sham subpoena and Van Zandt lawsuit, so impressively uncovered by the passionate group of online sleuths. So Brian Friedman is giving credit to the internet sleuths, and he should, because so many of you guys are responsible for all of the stuff coming out about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds and everyone involved here. Also in the news is that Blake Lively and Taylor Swift are friends again. People magazine saying that, yes, they are friends again and they have recovered. They've been able to recover their friendships. Now, earlier this week, it was said that Taylor Swift will receive a subpoena this week, and so will Hugh Jackman. So we will see how friendly Taylor Swift will be with Blake Lively after she's been subpoenaed. If Taylor Swift is completely honest in that deposition, maybe she's saying things about Blake that Blake don't want to get out there. So who knows about their friendship? I don't think it's going to last. I don't think they're going to be able to get over this. It underlines here that Taylor Swift is the godmother of all of their 4 children. I don't know if that's true. Somewhere else I said that I was only godmother of 1 child, but so I guess Blake could always use that as some kind of ransom against her and say, you are the godmother of my children. We have to be friends. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I'm still recovering from this cold. I hope it will pass soon. It's so annoying. It's so nice outside, and I feel like I just want to be in bed. But anyways, thanks again for watching, you guys. I really appreciate all of you so much, all you beautiful souls out there. Thanks for being so supportive, and thanks for sending me all the tips. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Floss and Talk, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.